My love-hate relationship with the winter. What's going on, guys? Tucker with Tucker's Timbers back with another video. Today I'm going to be going over my love-hate relationship with the wintertime and firewood and all that jazz. Had my first wintertime casualty the other day right here. This canopy collapsed. But I'm going to talk about some of the pros and cons of wintertime and being a firewood business, because it gets pretty extreme, especially when you get 2 feet of snow like we just got. I mean, look at that. That's what we got. My shins are fully covered. But we're going to go over pros and cons, stuff like that, to the firewood business that I have in the wintertime. All right, you guys, so in honor of this absolute snowstorm that we just got hit with, I might as well take a few minutes here and tell you guys kind of why I have a love-hate relationship with the wintertime and firewood. But this is crazy. Just trying to get out of the drive right now. This is nuts. I don't know how anybody with a small car is getting by today, because this is bad. This is really bad. Wow. But here we go. Alrighty. Pros and cons, love-hate relationship of firewood business in the wintertime. I'm just gonna start off with the pros, because why not? You know what I mean? So the wintertime is what everybody who buys firewood for their house kind of prepares for. So with that being said, it's the highest demand typically for people who, one, don't have room for firewood, and they're gonna run out midwinter. So they need to restock right in the dead of winter. So say somebody needs a full cord to heat their home every year. Maybe they just have a little fireplace, but they can only store one face cord at a time. So they're gonna need to buy 2 face cords throughout the winter to keep them going. So you have those customers, and then you have the people who just straight up don't prepare very well for the wintertime. So those are your 2 customers. And these customers are going to be very picky about the wood because they need it to burn right now, and they don't have any time to deal with unseasoned wood and stuff like that. So that brings my favorite part about the winter is I can mark up my prices, and people, they'll still buy it because they need it, you know what I mean? So if you have truly dry firewood in the winter, in the dead of winter, I think there is no better time to mark up your prices and stuff like that, because people are gonna need it. They need the wood. You should never sell firewood for the same price in the summer and the winter, ever, never. My prices change depending on my supply or whatnot, but if I have a repeat customer, I try to keep the same rate for them, the same flat kind of rate for my repeat customers, because I don't like to just, unless it's been 2 years and it's the same price, you know what I mean? Which I haven't even been in the business for 2 years, so, I'll give customers the same price unless they're getting different wood or different quantities, but usually it's the same wood and same quantities. So maybe if a year goes by, I'll raise my prices, but typically I don't change my prices at all. So with that being said, if I have a repeat customer in the dead of winter, it might be a little bit different, you know? If we got 2 feet of snow like we have right now, I mean, look at the top of my car. But if we have this kind of surplus in snow, I might be like, hey, I might want to charge a little more for delivery fee. These roads are nasty, or this weather, it's so cold, and blah, 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 blah. I might say something like that, right? But the wood's probably going to be the same for them. But for other people, if they are trying to scramble and buy firewood in the dead of winter, I'm not going to be easy on the price or the dollar amount, you know what I mean? Because one, I have to keep that wood dry somehow because they're demanding seasoned wood. That's why I try to cover some of my firewood. So I'm the only guy around with dry wood in the dead of winter. So I kind of get the best rates by far. So that's kind of why I'm fussing with these canopies and stuff like that, because you know, if I'm the only guy with dry wood, I can get probably $500 a cord, and that's what I hope to get this winter. I'm gonna jack up my prices like crazy because I'm also okay with not making deliveries in the wintertime. You know what I'm saying? You're catching you're picking up what I'm putting down right now. This is a glorified side hustle for me, so I can make, you know, do one delivery a week. I'm fine with that. I can do that. I'll let my wood sit there and be fine and whatnot. And then when the spring rolls around, I'm like, all right, lower my prices back down. Let's start moving some more volume, because I have a very flexible day job right now, so I can work kind of whenever I want. So I'm gonna kind of abuse that, and I'm gonna be like, hey, you know, firewood is great and it pays a lot more. Don't get me wrong. I would much rather prefer firewood over my day job any day. I would rather do that 24/7 as a full-time job, full-time gig, but I don't have to right now. I don't have to. I'm at a great spot right now, and I'm not getting complacent. That's not what I'm doing right now, guys. I'm just trying to limit the amount of work that I need to do in the dead of winter, when I could be, you know, I could be making money inside of a warm office type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna kind of play with that this winter, and who knows, maybe next year I'll have some land where I can build like a shed and just have a whole bunch of wood stacked up in there. That's the end goal, is to have just a spot where I can have maybe a barn just full of firewood, just like 30 cord for the winter time that I can sell. That's the goal. That's the end goal for sure. But I mean, until that day comes, I'm stuck here still having to work my normal job and whatnot. So it's tricky, you know, it's tricky, and I'm gonna take you guys along for the ride. I think I'm really gonna grow this business. Hopefully I'm doing it full time, and me and my dad are able to work with each other and just run the business full time, because it's got the potential for it. I'll tell you what, I did 15 deliveries the other week, but right before the snow hit, so you can tell people were really freaking out and needing their wood. So right now orders have slowed a little bit, and we're kind of at that point where it's like, all right, now I can either stock up, which is not an option for me right now because I'm not going to tow my processor out in 2 foot of snow, or I could kind of take a break, focus on something else, not mind it for a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. Don't get me wrong, I'm crazy about firewood, and I want to do that 24/7, 365. But when I don't have the land or the structure or the property just in general to do that right now, I'm 19 years old. You know, I don't have the luxury that these other YouTubers have, where they have their home and their property and then they go to a wood yard. Like, no, I don't have that separate kind of thing. I grew up on the wood yard that I have right now, you know what I mean? So I have definitely had to scrap together as much as I could to run this business. So I'm really happy with where I'm at, so we're gonna keep growing it. But at the same time, if I'm not able to work, I need to take advantage of the time that I now have to go work my other job, you know what I mean? Because I get great money as a salesman right now, so it's just that balance, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna make a video about work-life balance, because in my opinion, when you're at my age, you should not have any work-life balance. You should be working as much as humanly possible to set your future up. That's how I see it. I'm working my tail off right now, so me and my girlfriend can get married and buy a house. And then there we go, we're taking off, you know what I mean? I don't want to be another kid that's in debt, you know? So this firewood is really, it's kind of my gateway to a debt-free, you know, just good life. And that's what I'm realizing more and more often is YouTube I'm getting decent money off YouTube. So if, like today, I could either make videos all day or I could go see my family. So I have the freedom right now to be able to say, hey, I don't have to work firewood today. I can go make, you know, I can make a video in the car like this, and then I can go see family for a day, you know? That's what it is. So, it's just finding that balance, you know what I mean, guys? So if firewood is your full-time gig, good for you, and I hope to be like you someday. But if not, take a break, you know what I mean? It's not a big deal. I'm still gonna pump out videos every single day, don't get me wrong, that's for sure. That's not gonna slow down. I've said don't get me wrong a lot, haven't I? That's funny. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep doing what I can to maintain the wood yard and sell what I can, because I do have a lot of great firewood on the ground right now, split. So I'm gonna sell as much of it as I can. But I mean, I'm fine right now, guys, you know. I would usually be stressing and all this about my canopy collapsing and stuff like that, but I'm kind of realizing like it's gonna be fine, you know what I mean? All I'm getting from this is I'm just gonna learn from it, you know? I'm gonna learn that, hey, maybe we can just leave our wood uncovered, but we should stack it, you know? And then I'm gonna be like, okay, well, we're stacking it, where can I stack it? How can I move the yard around? Stuff like that. So, I'm really happy with the progress I'm making, that's for sure. So, yeah, we're just gonna keep going, and the winter time gets a little funky. So, I'm just gonna go with the flow here. I think that's what I'm best at. So we're gonna feel it out, and we're gonna go from there. But I'm really gonna try to get going on YouTube here. We've had some really good traction lately with these live streams, so I'm not gonna be able to do those when I can't process. So we're just gonna have to see where it goes, you know? I'll figure it out. Hopefully you guys will stick along with me. I really appreciate it if you do. And yeah, here we go, you know what I mean? Love-hate relationship with the wintertime. Right now I'm hating it because I can't do firewood 24/7, but I have to. It is what it is, you know. I have to just keep working elsewhere. If I can't work in the yard, I have to do work elsewhere. That's just what it comes down to. So I love firewood, and I would much rather work there, but I'm just a worker in general. So if I can't work on firewood, I gotta go do something else. So it is what it is, and you know, here we go, you know, we're gonna see where it goes. But yeah, moral of the story, love-hate relationship with the wintertime. We're going with the flow this year. Just gonna see what happens. I got wood on the ground already. It's good. I'm gonna sell that stuff. So yeah, stick around, all right? See how my winter goes. Appreciate you guys, all right? I'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy. Thanks for watching.